In Dominica's case, I actually located Tallboy as being the person who eventually introduced what we now know as a full-fledged pan with full scales into Dominica. When he came back to Dominica one time in the late 50s, early 60s, he brought with him a pan made in Trinidad.
Steel pan pack 2.
Dominica at one point had about 7 or 8 full-fledged steel bands, and that's why Pont Michel actually holds a place of prominence in steel pan in Dominica. There was a full-fledged steel pan in Portsmouth. There was a hand group in Grand Bay. There was a steel band also in Maho. There was a steel band in Massac. In the city, we had 3 steel bands.
Steel pan pack 2 and Creole Helmet with Afterton, Afi, Matty and Friends. Those Friday on the big station from 10:45 a.m.
So all of these, you can see there was a really interesting support coming from the private commercial sector for the art form. And it wasn't just in mouth. It wasn't just even in finance, because these steel bands used to be used throughout the year.
Dominica, let's retune our bodies, minds, and spirits to the genius of Tallboy Chance, Stafford Joseph, Miguel W., Aaron Emmanuel, Owen Banwell, and others, and awaken this slipping giant. Steve Band, Part 2 with Afi, Matty and Friends, hosted by Ambassador Bruce Wax, and the big station Q95 FM by Bill's Friday from 10:45 a.m. The time is now. There we go. The Pan Resurgence, the Pan Renaissance, the rise of our children will not forgive us.
The steel band playing the Calypso on the road was what determined what was the favorite for the year, and we now know it.
Digital Plus, you get award-winning internet speed from streaming, gaming, and more. It was tested and proven by Ookla, the global leader in internet testing. Digital Plus is Dominica's fastest internet network, backed by our 100% fiber-to-the-home network. We provide the fastest and more reliable internet, so you and your family can do all the things you love and way more. Experience our award-winning network today with internet speeds starting at 100 megabytes per second and up. Sign up in store. Digital Plus, better together. Award based on announced by Ookla Speed Test Q3 Q4 2021.
Our parents cared for us. Now it's our time to plan how we care for them and ourselves. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, through the Department of Social Services, proudly presents the Aging Preparedness and Wellness Fair, happening March 6 at the Windsor Park Stadium forecourt in Roseau from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Under the theme, Securing Our Future, Planning for Aging with Dignity through Financial Preparedness and Elder Care Inclusion. This fair is all about planning for aging with dignity. Learn how to grow your retirement savings at the National Cooperative Credit Union, the National Bank of Dominica, and the Republic Bank. Understand your pension with the Dominica Social Security. Protect yourself from online scams with cyber awareness experts with the Digital Transformation Unit. Access free health screenings with the Primary Healthcare Services, and explore community care programs that support our seniors like the Yes We Care programs and Girl Guides Association of Dominica. Aging is not the end of the journey, it's a new chapter. Let's prepare wisely, live confidently, and protect our golden years. Join us on March 6, 2026. Admission is free. The Aging Preparedness and Wellness Fair 2026, securing our future together.
Tune in every morning for The Hot Seat on Q95, the latest happening event, breaking stories, and behind-the-scenes in-depth investigative reports. Stay on for more fair and balanced talk on The Hot Seat on Q95, the big station.
We're going to open up the lines. Today is Wednesday this morning. All right, more questions this morning. Questions as to why our lead surgeon taken in there for a charge of attempted murder. But many questions at this time after some weeks at the Stockholm prison trying to get bail. It seemed to be proving difficult for Dr. Thomas. And we spoke yesterday to one of the attorneys on the defense team, Joshua. And of course, he's going to tell us, of course, put in perspective what has happened for the past few weeks there as it relates to Dr. Thomas, Theodore Thomas, Dr. Joshua. You were saying something? Let's repeat it.
Theodore Thomas, the leading surgeon at the hospital, the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, was accused of attempted murder and was arrested and brought before the court.
Mm-hmm.
The charge was read to him, and it is not a summary matter, and therefore it was not required for him to give a plea, meaning that it was not required for him to say whether he was guilty or not guilty.
Okay.
The issue that arose before the court was whether he ought to be granted bail or not. The issue of bail is left to the discretion of the magistrate and a judge. So in that situation, a bail application was made by our defense team, and the presiding magistrate, Mr. Loda, allowed both defense and the prosecution to summon witnesses to answer questions for determination of whether bail should be granted or ought to have been granted to the accused. The issue of bail is under the jurisdiction of the Bail Act of Dominica. As you know, in 2020, we enacted a Bail Act, and therefore that is a manifesto by which the magistrate and the judge would have to make a decision. So we presented a case where we understand that, like any other accused, Dr. Theodore Thomas has the constitutional protection of innocence until proven guilty. Furthermore, we asserted, understanding that the Bail Act of Dominica does not give an accused who is likely to suffer more than 3 years sentence should he be found guilty the right to bail, meaning that Dr. Theodore Thomas, given the nature of the offense for which he has been accused, would not have a right to bail. And therefore, the onus was on us and continues to be on us to satisfy the court that there are substantive grounds for providing bail to Dr. Theodore Thomas. So the question of public interest, whether the defendant will interfere with witnesses, should he be granted bail, whether the defendant has a propensity to pervert the course of justice, etc., etc. We know very well that Dr. Theodore Thomas has an impeccable record as a surgeon and a law-abiding citizen. Of course, I'm not going into the details of what would have been argued before the court because it's a live matter. So I'm just commenting on procedures.
Okay.
So after we made our arguments, after the prosecution would have made its argument, and keep in mind that is really for the defense to satisfy the court. And Mr. Norde, the lead counsel in the matter, in my view, gave an exemplary submission and has led the defense team at a very high level.
Okay.
And Mr. Loda, the presiding magistrate, in my view, also has done a phenomenal job in determination of whether bail should be granted to the accused.
Okay.
So we went up and down, witnesses were called, and in the finality, the magistrate found no grounds to deny the accused bail, and therefore bail was granted to the accused. That was last Friday. But something historical happened in court, and historical in multifaceted ways. Number one, before the magistrate really completed his statements, because he was on the bench speaking, but he had already indicated that he was going to grant bail to the accused. And Matt, I want the public to understand that the issue of bail is discretionary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's the magistrate. So, but no matter what the defense would have said or the prosecution would have said, the magistrate has a discretionary power, which is protected under the Bail Act of Dominica and in common law.
Mm-hmm.
However, any magistrate or judge would have to act reasonably, meaning that if he acts arbitrarily, then we would have had legal questions to ask. But Mr. Loda did a phenomenal job, and he handled his court, he managed his court very well. He's a gentleman who likes law. He referred to several cases. He allowed us to think. He allowed us to walk within the parameters of the law. And after he would have informed the court that bail is granted to the accused, the prosecutor stood to inform the court that they had filed a notice of appeal, which came as a shock to us, because never before we witnessed a matter unfolding the manner in which that matter unfolded. Meaning that before we left the court, even before the magistrate concluded his enunciations, he was informed that a notice of appeal was filed. What would have happened, Matt, is that someone, and I do not want to accuse the prosecution, but naturally it would be taken that they would have been responsible to inform somebody in the prosecution office that the magistrate had granted bail to the accused, and therefore the notice of appeal would have been uploaded on the portal. As you know, Matt, we have e-litigation now, where affidavits and other court documents can be uploaded electronically. So there is a court portal, and the prosecution team would have uploaded a notice of appeal, meaning that they would have prepared for such an eventuality which came into reality. And they informed the magistrate that they had filed a notice of appeal, and under the Bail Act of Dominica, once there is an oral notice to the magistrate, then he would have had to commit he would have had to send back the accused on remand. So that's just what happened. So Mr. Dr. Theodore Thomas would have been relieved that bail was granted, but his joy was short-lived. I don't think there was a 90 seconds difference between the pronouncement of granting bail and the oral notice of the appeal. So in that situation, now that the matter has been appealed and the prosecution is well within the legal framework to have appealed the matter, so legally, and I want to repeat, legally, the prosecution is within the legal sphere to have appealed as they did. So now we have to go to the High Court, and it is left for the determination of the judge to decide whether bail will be granted to Dr. Theodore Thomas. Now, bails are not appealed beyond the High Court. So once the judge would have made her decision, then that is the finality in terms of the jurisdiction of the court, in terms of the tier of the court. So we're not allowed to go to the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal to question a decision of a judge in a bail matter. However, the law provides for an accused to return to the judge for more than once or twice or three times if there are changing circumstances. So in situations where bail would not be granted to an accused, the accused could return to the judge, whether in 2 weeks' time or a month's time, to give a case why bail should be granted to him. But God forbid, we are of the opinion and we are confident that the judge will act as she has always done, impeccably in her judgment, and allow justice to be prevailed. Now, Matt, let me just say to the public that bail is not a punishment. As I started, there's a presumption of innocence, The test of bail basically is to determine whether the accused or defendant will appear before the court when he or she is supposed to, and should there be bail conditions to adhere to those bail conditions. Hence the reason why we have sureties for those accused and defendants in a bail hearing. The surety would be responsible to ensure that the defendant or the accused appears before the court whenever his or her matter is called, and if there are bail conditions, to ensure or to assist the accused to follow those bail conditions. So it's not a question of, oh, this is a very serious offense, and as such, the accused ought to be punished and to be left on remand. Of course, there are other factors that have to be, there are several factors that have to be taken into consideration by the court. Matt, this is a rather unfortunate situation. Of course, there is a victim involved, and justice has to be prevailed. But for the purpose of bail, I want to repeat myself, for the purpose of bail, it is not a question of punishing someone, irrespective of the nature of the offense. We know very well that we have had murder accused granted bail. So this is not anything new. This is not unprecedented. What is unprecedented is what transpired on Friday, that bail was granted to an accused.
So you've never seen that happen in the court, from your experience?
That has never happened. That has never happened. As a matter of fact, that's the first time, Matt, that the decision of a magistrate to grant bail to an accused has been appealed. I'm subject to correction, but I did speak with other counsel, including those on the defense team, and they have never witnessed something like that happening in Dominica. But again, the law provides for an appeal, and the matter is not before the High Court, and the sitting judge, the honorable judge, will decide whether bail will be granted to the accused.
How soon do you expect this to happen? Because a lot of course, we've heard from many of these clients, Doctor. We're not seeing what he may have done or not do. We can speak to this, but a lot of the clients have been asking questions. What is his spirit at this time? I mean, you've had a chance to speak to him one-on-one. Is he broken?
Well, I would not use the word broken. Broken would mean that he would have given up.
Yeah.
His spirit would have been shattered, and he would basically surrender. The doctor has not surrendered. He's naturally dejected. He's naturally concerned. Any human being in that situation would be. The doctor, given his training, is a very strong person, very resilient person. Now, keep in mind, this is a surgeon. This is somebody who goes into a surgery room to perform surgeries. And weak persons cannot do that, no matter how bright or smart or how trained we are.
True.
One of the requisites is to have strength. So the doctor is fortified with strength, and he has his support around him. But naturally, he's dejected. Naturally, he's asking questions. Why me? Why am I the one set in history? Why am I the first? What about me? Am I Kalinago? Is it racial? Is it personal? So he would naturally ask questions. But he's a very strong individual, and I urge the public to pray for him. He's somebody who is very important. All of us are important, of course, but given the service that he has provided, the role that he has provided to our society, it is really, really unfortunate that he's in that situation. There are persons in Dominica right now waiting for surgeries to be done, and they were booked to undergo the surgeries by Dr. Theodore Thomas. The gentleman has healing hands. He has helped save lives. He has dispensed his services with great enthusiasm and love for people. And we're hoping that the opportunity will present itself for him to continue that work.
Any significant reason why you think, I'm just asking the question out loud there, why you think that the DPP's office is so, insistent that he should remain behind bars? Any either?
Well, I cannot speak for and on behalf of the DPP's office. I cannot enter into the minds of the operators within the DPP's office. I do want to tell the public, though, that Madam DPP, Honorable DPP, did not sit on the matter. What I can say is the DPP's office provided its reasons why bail should be denied. That's all I can comment on. But even then, I'm not allowed to go into details of what has transpired and will transpire before the court, especially in view of the fact that I'm part of the defense team. I provided the law and I can comment on the law, but I am not prepared to go into the facts. And as far as your question is concerned, I cannot speak on behalf of the DPP's office. I ask the public to pray for both parties, the victim and the accused, and we expect justice to prevail. And I can say confidently that the bail should be granted to the defendant, but that's not left just to my opinion. That is left for the determination of the judge when the matter comes up before her.
Well, as you said, all we can do at this time is to pray for the doctor that everything will go well at the next
Yes, of course.
sitting. When do you expect?
Yes, Matt.
when do you expect it to happen, though? The appeal.
Well, Matt, the law provides, the Bail Act of Dominica provides for an appeal to be initiated within 5 days after serving the notice of appeal on all the stakeholders. So we are hoping that by Friday or Monday of next week, max latest, that this matter would appear before the judge. Now, we are likely to take directions, and hopefully the bail application will be heard within the next 14 days. That is what we hope, and you'll be kept updated, Matt.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Joshua, for, of course, enlightening the public. Everybody's been asking questions. Again, we have to be watching that case very closely. The main surgeon on the island behind bars, of course, following the charge of attempted murder. But we have seen persons are charged with murder themselves on given bail. So as to the reasons why Dr. Thomas yet to be given bail is a different question. I'm sure you have your own thoughts as well, Somebody's suggesting here that the DPP should recuse herself from this matter. I listened to Mr. Joshua Francis on that case. Yesterday, the accused was given bail by the magistrate based on the individual standing in the society. Yet, the terms as stated is law. But the magistrate saw a model citizen and granted him bail. But I think there's some lies, political reasons why the DPP fighting against the magistrate's decision, because we have seen some people gotten bail, a slap on the wrist, and let's get full blunt of the law, unequal application of the law. Somebody suggesting maybe some people refer to it as some, pointing to selective justice. Some people might just say the DPP is doing her job. Others suggesting that the DPP may be close to the family of the victim, hence the reason why she should recuse herself from that case. Okay, these are just allegations. So let's see what happens there the next time this doctor returns to the court. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, good morning to you. And how are you this morning, Matt?
Morning to you, how are you doing?
Matt, I'm there holding on, giving God thanks and praise.
Yes.
Matt, I have been listening to what happened with this doctor and that bail thing there.
Uh-huh.
While it is true that, as Joshua said, that the prosecution is within their rights to appeal for, and
Yes.
so on. But I am saying, Matt,
This is the first time ever this has happened. This is what Joshua is trying to say.
that is the point I'm going to make. And the point is, people who are there for murder, they give them bail. Yes, he attempted to kill her, but he's not dead. Right, Matt? He's not dead. So why hold him in there? Unless you have a special reason for holding him. Matt. So to me, it looks like discrimination. My view, discrimination, Matt. That's my view.
Okay, hello. Selective justice is very prevalent in the court these days, of course. She should recuse herself, if she had any beat of ethics. But alas, somebody's suggesting the 449-3095-9697. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, morning.
Matt, this is very what you call a modern day tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel I feel bad for both parties. The young lady in question, I don't know her personally, but I think she went to high school with a couple of my girls, and they know her very well. And the young doctor, I believe he's one of our best, our brightest doctors in Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he had the surgery. He did surgery on me. And Matt, the same afternoon, the same night, couple hours after the surgery, it was the same day thing. About 9 o'clock in the night, I get a call. When I picked up and I answered, it was he on the line, and he said, "Well, this is Dr. Thomas. I'm just checking up on you, making sure that you're okay, everything is okay." And I just thought that was so special because, not often, doctors would, follow up on you like that and actually call you. And in my interaction with him, even after the outpatients, I can remember I said, "Doc, what do you think about the boy? You think the boy will still rise again?" There's a whole new operation I had. And he said, "Don't worry, man, the boy will rise up. He didn't really come too close to him, so he'll be all right." So, you know what? I find the guy is a nice guy. I personally like him. The young lady too. She's a friend of my girls. So I just wish she would make a full recovery. It's kind of, from what I heard, this morning, she's kind of going through a little tough time. But we hope that when it settles, that she will be back to as close as normal as possible. And if I had one word to say to Dr. Thomas, I would just like to remind him of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela spent 26 years in jail in South Africa. And then he came out and he actually went and became the president of South Africa and one of the best presidents in his times. So all is not lost, and the support team that are working with him, I hope they remind him of stories like that and, try to cheer him up because it's not easy to be seated behind bars, Matt. I've never experienced it and I'm not looking forward to it either. But all I say to the young doctor is cheer up, and to the young lady, we have to keep praying for her and hope that she makes a full and complete recovery. That's all for today, Matt.
All right, thank you. 8 minutes to the hour. We have a stop coming up at 9 o'clock. Good morning, Matt. Some can get bail for murder and not charged and get away. Some get bail, and this doctor didn't murder. Matt, my conclusion is this is injustice. The DPP should recluse herself from that case. Somebody's asking whether Dr. Theodore Thomas is a family man. That's for him to answer, not me. I'm not Dr. Thomas. Hello, talk to me. I am not very close to him. We are colleagues professionally, but I'm not close to him to make that judgment. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there?
Matt, morning.
Morning to you, yes.
I always say to myself, he's one of the best surgeons in Dominica right now, and I always feel for myself that I feel very sorry for him. But I know he learned from one of the best. Dr. Paul, oh yes, he learned from one of the best. No wonder he's like that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. On the telephone, it's 8:54. Yes. Somebody's asking if they were one of your daughters that somebody would shoot, would you be singing a different song? That's not for me. I don't get emotionally attached. Hello, on that. Talk to me on the telephone, yes? Uh-huh.
Same question I was going to ask. You just talking about Dr. Konojo. What about the people that still at the hospital? Huh?
No, she's not at the hospital. Get your facts straight. She was in court. She was flown to Martinique, and I think she's still, of course, we agree she's still be maybe going through some difficulty, but she's not at the hospital, okay? I just wanted to tell you that. All right, 449-309. Get your facts and call me back. Hello, talk to me on the telephone.
Yes, man.
How are you?
On another note, I saw something happen last night about 7:45 over the Mont Daniel towards Dewitt Center. There were 5 drones flying. I think the citizens of Pokole should identify that. And they dumped into the water in front of the Dewitt Center area. So my suggestion, if there's a suggestion, there could be submarine out there. That's the latest position I have to.
Yeah, what are you saying? What is out there? Sorry.
I said that the 5 drones I saw came out over the Mont Daniel area.
Okay.
I'm not the only one who witnessed it. I was there with the security. We both, and the citizens of Pokole could call and say if they had any view of that. They dumped themselves one by one in the waters outside of Dewitt Center. So I guess they head back to a submarine or something. That's my suggestion.
All right, Carlo. Well, we will have get the facts on that one. 449-309-5967. Hello, talk to me, yes? Oh, sorry about that. 8:56, yeah?
Morning, Mr. Mark.
Morning to you. How are you?
I just get sleeping and get to back again. It's so cold down by me there.
Okay.
But I had a little flu. I didn't get it too hard now, but sometimes, there are little things feeling there when you make your body feel very well at ease. My thought is there. I am thinking of Dr. Theodore. And what we have to learn, there are many lessons God has taught us in life. Do unto others as we love them to do unto you. And in spite of the laws that are passed in the land, the laws of the land come from the laws of God with it. And when there's a saying, say, when I do everything good, nobody remember. When I do everything wrong, no one forget. And we have to remember, as the law, I am not saying about anything but the laws of them, what they do, what they don't do. That's left to them with God. So what I'm trying to say there, if somebody does something wrong, you make sure that you seek good counsel and come to make say something about it or do something about it. But in Dominica, I noticed many people doing things wrong and they getting away and we think they said. But I want to warn us. We have a judge down here, and remember, don't forget we have one up there. God is taking note of everything that is happening, and the way that we treat each other, God will recompense you according to you. Because if a man has 5 little children in a home, I see them already up there, and my heart does go out. But if he does, number one, he get a first blast already in the hospital with his work. A second thing happened again. Do something, whether he has to pay or whether it is there, and let the man go and stay there. Because his children grow up with a father. How is going to be so difficult? Please, our people in Dominica, do not allow the wrath of God to come down on us. Do something good. Do the good things we have to do. Let the man settle down the man, let him, either he pays something or go see about his children. But if we have to having people in jail in this and that and that and that and that and that, and tomorrow we think we escape, we have ourselves, we have our children, we have our family. We do not know what is tomorrow. Tomorrow lies in God's hand. And whatever we do, make sure we do it right because God is a judge. Be sure our sins will find us out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. 449-3095-96 and 97. Hello, yes. Somebody says if the doctor is kept behind bars for legal reasons, fine. But if it's a different story, when it's for political and family connections, or you're asking the question, you're saying, but if it's a different story, when it's for political and family connections, that's different. Somebody, a final comment there before we go to our next stop here. I personally believe that our justice system is very subjective. There seems to be a lot of emotions and connections when it comes to decision making. Last year, I recall a young, promising, productive man from Collio, but residing in Jimit, was brutally stabbed in the neck senselessly by a decorated felon. Currently, the accused murderer is on bail. He's walking all over the place like nothing happened. As Dr. Thomas has any previous criminal record? What is the rationale for denying him bail? 449-3095, just questions being asked at this time. And of course, we'll continue right after this. Stick around, Dominica. We have a stop coming up for 3 minutes. All right, Dominica, we're going to make a stop with our friends there from Moongate Evacuation Services. We'll learn a little more about that in the next few minutes. Moongate Evacuation Services. We're going to do this and we'll come back right after this.
Tune in every morning for The Hot Seat on Q95, the latest happening event, breaking stories, and behind-the-scenes in-depth investigative reports. Stay locked for more fair and balanced talk on The Hot Seat on Q95, the big station.
Moongate Evacuation Services. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, Matt. How are you? I'm great.
You're great?
Yes.
All right. How was the season for you?
It was good. It was good, quiet. I didn't do much frolicking.
We're just observing.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about Moongate Services. Everybody's asking Moongate. All right. What's that about?
Moongate Evacuation Services is, as the name suggests, is a medical. We provide medical emergencies if someone have a medical emergency in Dominica.
Okay.
We understand some of the limitations that we have here in Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and this is not bashing Dominica in any way. I'm actually from Grenada, and we have the same problem. When someone has a medical emergency, they have to fly out to a more developed island, and it can be very expensive. In fact, it can cost you up to $20 just to get to Martinique.
20,000.
Yeah, US. Yes.
Wow.
It's extremely expensive. Sad to say, that's why sometimes you hear people pass away in here, or even they spend a long time, months trying to raise funds and so forth, because they're extremely costly. And when you have a medical emergency, that time you're waiting to get money.
Timing's everything.
Yes. So the idea is that we provide a service that is affordable for each and every Dominican.
Okay.
To the multi-millionaire, down to the person that barely earning an income, or probably on Social Security. Understand? So the idea is we provide a prepaid service so a person can make a payment on a monthly basis. In fact, and I will dive in that a little later on. We actually have a promotion now. When we started officially in Dominica here in December last year. We had a promotion where we were giving members 33% discount on the membership fee, which is indefinite.
Mhm.
And the management team, when we had a meeting last week, and they say, you know what, let's continue giving Dominicans that, because we realize that it's one person's is gravitating towards our service, and they're running towards service. In fact, it's better than what we expected.
Okay.
And our predictions said. So right now, we actually have a discount, and we'll dive into that a little later
Mhm.
running in the show.
Mhm.
But the meat of the matter, what we primarily provide is bedside to bedside service. So we liaise with the ground ambulance here in Dominica that will bring you to the airport, where your air ambulance will pick you up on the other end to get you to Martinique or wherever you need to go. And then on the other end, we will get a ground ambulance to bring you to the hospital. Normally, Dominican hospital does a fantastic job in navigating the ground ambulance here specifically. But if you oversee and you need this kind of service, we'll still provide it for you as well.
Okay, so what happens? So okay, for example, I give you a call, your officer call. What happens then?
Well, once you give us a call, we will contact the hospital to confirm that it's not a prank. Because this is difficult a prank. And so once we get confirmation from the hospital, we get documentations to prove that you need to fly out. From that, we will organize our troops to come to Dominica and liaise with the hospital, so they will get you to the grounds, will get you to the hospital at Douglas Charles. And of course, from that end, we will fly you, let's say, to Martinique, Trinidad, anywhere within the Caribbean, we can fly you. And where your medical needs.
So it's not just the neighboring islands. You can fly you over to Trinidad.
Correct. Yes. And on the other end, we'll have a ground ambulance that will get you to the hospital, because the objective really and truly is to ensure that you get the best special treatment that is affordable. You understand? But not just affordable, but more so that is nearest to you. And in this case, Dominica.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me, as you said, millionaires can afford it. Some people without maybe Social Security payments might be able to afford it. So break it down for us as to what, in terms of the payments to that plan.
Yeah. It's $40.50 for one person.
$40.50.
Yes, for one person, and a family of any number. It could be 20. Some people have a lot of children, and they're under 18. We'll cover them, but we stipulate exactly who can be covered under a membership.
Okay.
So it's you, spouse, and children under the age of 18, and that's $67.50. Now, as I said, we have a promotion, so you get 33% discount on that, and which is indefinite for the rest of your life and the rest of your time with us. You get a 33% discount on that policy.
So whether it's one, which is
so the individual goes down to $27 EC.
27 is a month.
Yes, and the family goes down to $54 a month.
Okay, let's just say I'm in an accident and I've just started paying. Say, when does it become, if you will, legible? Because I could start paying today and maybe tomorrow I find myself in some predicament. So
that's actually an excellent question. It actually starts immediately. Once you go into the system, you're fully covered. However, there is two stipulations, and I like to be honest with people. There's two things that you have to wait to get coverage for. One is pre-existing condition. In other words, if you have a medical condition that you know about that is documented, and you sign up to get a flight. So someone on the medical bed, on a hospital bed, cannot sign up to get a flight immediately, right? Secondly, if you need an organ transplant, you have to wait a year for that to occur, because based on the deterioration of the organs, you have to be there is something that you will know about over the period of time. So 1 year for organ transplant, but 90 days for any other pre-existing condition.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very serious business here. 449-3095. And if you have any questions, feel free. The numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. Moongate Evacuation Services. Those of you maybe, wanting that kind of service that you say you're flying your family overseas may be very expensive, but if you pay, you said 27?
Yes, $27, correct, for one person.
One person, and the family is 67.
54 with the discount. Remember, as I said, we have a special for this month. So you will get 33% off on the membership fee.
Okay, what is your records like? I mean, what is kind of stories that you may have gotten since you started doing this business?
Well,
you say it's happening in Grenada too.
Well, we have an office. Our main office is in Bermuda, but we have an existing for 14 years now through Bermuda.
So it's been existing for 14 years now.
Yeah, 14 years now.
Okay. Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes, I'm there, Mark. Morning.
Morning.
I wanted to ask my friend there, what's the difference between Moongate, the Moongate company, and the company Massa?
Excellent question. Yes.
There was
The first thing is that we have our office. I'm not sure if you know, but the Master closed on the office back in 2023 or 2024, somewhere about that. And but we have a local office here because we are Caribbean-owned company, and that's the difference. Master is American, so their philosophies are different, but we are Caribbean-owned bread. And the idea is that we understand that as for all people, we like to have a physical office. We want to know we can go to someone physically if we have any concerns or questions. And secondly, our rates are cheaper as well.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, how many? If you have an individual that needs to be flown out, are you there still, caller? No. If you have an individual that needs to be flown out, can this individual get company to go with them?
Of course, yes. We allow and that's called accompaniment. So we allow someone to travel with you on board the air ambulance, with a family member, friend, whoever you decide. In fact, Matt, we'll also reimburse the person that travel with you up to $300 for unexpected expenses that will incur while you're overseas. So the idea is that we'll let someone travel with you, and we'll also give them some spending money as well as a reimbursement.
Oh,
yes.
That's very. All right, so let's take another phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yeah, that's me again for follow up.
Okay.
I want to ask him, will you part of Massa?
Yes, I was. I was actually posting that initiative master here in Dominica. And the reason why Moongate exists is for the very same reason, because what happened was that because I decided after how Massa was operating, I didn't like it after a period. After speaking them for 13 years, I was with them for a while, and I realized I didn't like how they were operating. So I decided to go full-blown insurance. But a lot of people would have seen me and tell me, oh, we signed with Massa and you just leave us high and dry now, or they don't have office and so forth. And I really felt bad because I was the one that convinced a lot of people in Dominica for this service. And so then I contacted my colleague, a friend from Bermuda, who is the CEO of the company. And I asked him if he's interested in starting something here and through the Eastern Caribbean, because we're actually about to start our office in St. Lucia as well. And he said, yes, definitely. So the reason why I actually Moongate is here, and the reason why I'm actually part of Moongate is because of Dominicans, because a lot of people met me on the street and saying, oh, you leave us high and dry, and no, so I honestly felt bad.
Hello, on the telephone, are you there? Yes?
I'm still there, yeah, because the reason I was asking that, a lot of people kind of joined and was contributing to Massa and thinking that they were going to get some kind of benefits. And Massa just fell off the grid without information to a lot of people that was patronizing them. That's why I'm asking. I mean, I was one of those. But at the same time, so what the people that were with Massa and they paid money, what's happening to that? What's going to happen to them? Who is working on their behalf? Who's doing anything to compensate them or to follow up with them with the monies that they have spent with Massa before?
That's a great question.
That's my question that I can answer right here. But what I suggest, if you were able to contact them directly, you can. But the reason why, as I mentioned before, the reason why I'm here now, the reason why Moongate is here now, is for the very same reason that the caller just mentioned, is the fact that
Massa and Moongate is not connected at all.
No, there's two different companies. Moongate used to do business for Massa in Bermuda. So they used to service their flights and so forth in Bermuda. But they're two different companies, two separate companies, providing similar service but different. And the primary reason why I'm here today is because I understand, and a lot of persons, like the caller, for example, had a lot of concerns and felt like I did them something indirectly, right? And in some way I agree with them, because I persuaded them to pursue Massa, and I realized that it was unfair to them to leave them high and dry. Hence the reason why I searched and I got a better solution for them. And hence the reason why I am here now, letting people understand that this company is one Caribbean, and we're more focused on helping people than our profit margin.
Okay, all right. We have just about 2 more minutes, and we'll wrap it up here with our friend there from Moongate Evacuation Services. 9:14. Yes, hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, yes, good morning. I want to ask the guy that's speaking about this insurance. I just want a little bit about it. Is it registered company in Dominica? Or are they setting up an account or something where if they go in bankrupt, people can get some money back or something? Speak to that.
Okay. Is it a registered company?
Yes. Well, if I was to register, I would not be at the end now. Of course, we're registered. We have a bank account and all these things on them. And I don't want to leave you with the belief that
because a lot of people will say, and I've of course experienced that before. We've had a lot of fly by night, as you said.
Yeah.
They come, you invest, and then your money just go fly with the wind.
Yes.
So people are you would imagine cautious.
Of course. And I will be the first to tell someone if that is happening, right? And to be honest, I'm part of the ownership of Moongate as well.
Okay.
And that's the difference between my master. I was an employee of master, so I was not part of decision making.
So you're not a manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just a manager, so I had to follow instructions.
You were not a manager.
No, I was just a manager.
Okay.
With master.
Okay.
With Moongate, I'm part of the ownership.
Okay.
So they did a different ballgame. So I'm part of the decision making process.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And so that in a sense, I can assure you that we're here to stay and we're here to serve the Caribbean because we are the Caribbean.
How far do you fly in terms of these emergencies?
For now, we fly just reaching the Caribbean, and with all the issues in the US and so forth, we didn't believe that it was the best option to go further than the Caribbean. With the visa restrictions and so forth that the Caribbean is experiencing currently, and we thought it was
Guadeloupe, Martinique, Trinidad.
Yes. Cuba as well. Just within the Caribbean. We will fly you anywhere within the Caribbean.
All right, 449-3095. Are you there, caller? I suspect we missed that call there. But let's take our final call, and we'll, of course, wrap it up with Moongate Evacuation Services. Are you there?
Yes, Mark, I want to answer the final call.
Go ahead,
I want to wish you all the best in your endeavors in terms of if you are a different company but the same face, because that's going to be difficult. I am one of those persons when trust is broken, it's very difficult to build back. And because you were part of MASA and you're the same face with another company, to wish you all the best if you mean well. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. And of course, I just suggested, Matt, I was a member with MASA and they let me down big time, so I'm not going to be taking a chance. So you understand the
yeah. But the thing about it is that, and that's one of the reason why I even left MASA even before they closed the office and everything, because I saw the direction that they were going wasn't be received. Our Caribbean people would not have received it favorably.
Okay.
And it's not that MASA going bankrupt. I don't think they're going bankrupt.
Okay.
It's just that the policy has changed. I think they want to do a more remote system. So it's not a matter of bankruptcy or so.
Okay.
It's an American company that wanted to go digital totally. You understand? But we as Caribbean people perceive that as bankruptcy. You understand? And that's why we decided now the first thing we have to do is make sure we have a physical location. And our location is at 8 Kings Lane, just a lane where Guyap used to be opposite after full launch.
Okay.
So we actually have a physical location there. So it's not a case where I left MASA because MASA was going bankrupt or anything like that. It's just that the philosophy of the company is that they want to go totally remote, totally digital. And I don't think we in the Caribbean are ready for that system yet. We need a physical place where we can walk in, go to, and speak to people. And that's why we say, because we're Caribbean, we understand our Caribbean culture. You understand? Opposed to an American company who have American philosophy. So that's what we say. So I understand that persons are concerned about the shift. But I can assure you that the reason why we are here is because, one, we understand that our Caribbean people see things different, and we need to understand that. And because we are Caribbean people, we understand that, and we operate in a Caribbean culture.
So if we want to follow up from here, what are the numbers or what are the contacts?
Yes, you can call me directly on 245-9050 or WhatsApp on 615-6125.
All right. These are the numbers to call. Can you repeat that, please?
245-9050 or 615-6125. And the 6125 is my WhatsApp.
No, are there any websites just yet?
Yes. We have we're Moongates. Let me give you our website quickly. It's www.moongatesda.bm. Again, www.moongatedba.bm. Or you can just Google Moongates Bermuda, and you will see, scroll along at the bottom right left hand corner, you'll see the Dominican office. You can click on it, it'll open a different window for you, and you can get all information there for us.
Any final words before you go?
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for listening and all the callers. Thank you very much. I get the impression that is not that you well, to some degree, a lack of trust, but I'm more think that is something that a service that you believe in, but you don't want to confirm is something that you can trust. And if you feel free to call me directly, and we can have continued conversation if you have any questions or queries, or you can just visit our office at 8 Kings Lane location, just opposite opposite after full launch.
After full launch, at the side. I think I've seen that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
All right, then.
Bye-bye.
Easy way to pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
You're
Flow is keeping you connected.
In Dominica's case, I actually located Tallboy as being the person who eventually introduced what we now know as a full-fledged hand with full scales into Dominica. When he came back to Dominica one time in the late 50s, early 60s, he brought with him a pan made in Trinidad.
Steel pan pack 2.
Dominica at one point had about 7 or 8 full-fledged steel bands, and that's why Pont Michel actually holds a place of prominence in steel pan in Dominica. There was a full-fledged steel pan in Portsmouth. There was a hand group in Grand Bay. There was a steel band also in Maho. There was a steel band in Massac. In the city, we had 3 steel bands.
Steel pan pack 2 and Creole Hundred with Atherton, Happy Matty and Friends. Goes Friday on the big station from 10:45 a.m.
So all of these, you can see there was a really interesting support coming from the private commercial sector for the art form. And it wasn't just in mouth. It wasn't just even in finance, because these steel bands used to be used throughout the year.
Dominica, let's retune our bodies, minds, and spirits to the genius of Tallboy Chance, Stafford Joseph, Miguel W., Aaron Emmanuel, Owen Banwell, and others, and awaken this slipping giant. Steve Band Part 2 with Happy Matty and Friends, hosted by Ambassador Prince Wright, and the big station Q95 FM by Prince Friday from 10:45 a.m. The time is now. There we go. The Pan Resurgence. The Pan Renaissance, the rise of the children, will not forgive us.
The steel band playing the Calypso on the road was what determined what was the favorite for the year, and we now know it as the road
What are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? You tell me, that's how it has sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. They say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Not stocks, starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Good morning, good morning. Somebody's saying, Matt, do you know what has happened with Dowasco? I'm not seeing any communication from them as to what's going on since day before yesterday. No water. What area are we talking about, ma'am? Please inform. So some persons are complaining that they have not had any services from Dowasco. Maybe you should send me the name of where you having some issues with the water. Again, it's an open line. Feel free. It's a Wednesday, 9:26 is the morning time. Castle Comfort to Fortney, no water. That's an indication there from somebody who just texted. Castle Comfort to Fortney, no water, Dowasco. Check this out and let us know what's going on. The numbers are 449-3095-96 and 97. These are the numbers to call. It's an open line.
I tell you straight now, go in Europe and get bail. When people do things, you haven't got bail, is your case have to call it, is you inside, your case call you outside, or you inside. I got what they call bail. You know, people can't be doing them things there and to give them bail, even though he's a doctor, you know, he's a doctor, he should know better. So bail for what? Go in Europe and give him bail now.
More telephone. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, sir.
About that doctor issue. I find the doctor used a crime of passion, use his senses, and try to manipulate the lady and try to shoot the lady.
Tried, you say he's tried. Of course, he shot her. I mean, and of course, the case is before the court, but you wouldn't say he tried to when he did.
Once you shoot somebody, you try to kill the person. You understand? And the fact that they're trying to say the doctor. They're trying to bring a bias onto the guy to say like it also has some sympathy with him. He did so good and all them different things. Yeah, he did that. So he want to get bailed to go to the hospital to do surgery under that mentality that he have right now. Would you trust yourself in surgery with a mentality like that of a doctor? You understand? There was a guy over the carnival where he got abused, as the story said. People jump over and they try to beat him. He shoot the person dead. Now, easily the person could not have died. But he's there. Would he get bailed also? Because it was a self-defense.
But I mean, talking to your point there, do you know that a lot of people who have murdered persons are outside on bail?
Yeah, I know this. But then the more responsibility you have as a doctor of intelligence, it's going to be, I don't know, but I just find that.
So would you agree that it's selective if people who have been accused of murder is on bail? So would you say it's selective?
Well,
just a question.
Yeah, it could be looking at selective. Also, if he got bail, it could be look also at selective because there are a lot of people who are accused of murder who is unremanded. You know. So at the end of it now is based on the intelligence that the lawyers and the people have.
Well, I guess the matter will be tried again in the High Court, and we'll see if he will receive bail. And there's nowhere else you could go, really, when you're past the High Court stage. So we'll see what happens there at the High Court. Matt, somebody stopped complaining about the water, no water in Point Michelle. The guest complained since yesterday. Union Estate, Savannah Road is without water 2 days. Well, I live in Point Michelle and I've had water for the past 2 days. So maybe higher up in the village, huh? All right, 449. So do not say it's a lawyer, but the incident was an accident based on the victim's statement of facts. The guy does not know that the facts of the case and should not be making those statements. Okay, so this is what I'm receiving there. The incident was an accident based on the victim's statement of facts. The guy does not know what the facts are of the case, so should not be making such statements. I suspect you're talking about the caller who just called. So again, I just want to repeat that the incident was an accident based on the victim's statement of the facts. The guy does not know the facts, so please refrain making those statements as relates to the case. 449-3095-9697. Hello, talk to me. Huh? On the telephone, are you there?
Yes, I am Donat. Good morning. How are you?
I'm here.
Okay. I am never for the DPP or DPP, how you call her. But this time around, I am there for her. I would never give the doctor bill because he is a doctor. He's not any local people, no. A doctor. You have your wife and you have a girl. I agree, everybody does that. Most of the men do that. But listen, because you have the girl, you want to be a ruler. You don't know if you have your wife and you have a woman, or the woman still have another one because you know you have your wife and you have your money. She therefore, so because of you having her, you're going to shoot her because she doesn't agree with something that you does not want. The doctor remain in prison for you to become a good man another time. Remain there, and when it's time to call, you will come out. Thank you, DPP, for just bailing him.
All right, caller. Tell the caller that the bail is the court's decision and not ours, huh? The court will decide whether you get bail. Hi, are you there, caller? Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I live, Mr. Matt?
You're live. You're talking to me. Yes, you're live.
All right, Mr. Matt. This is Wonder.
This is Von Dot. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm here hanging in listening to you talking about my daughter, an accident.
Okay.
Matt.
Who
gave you the authorization to say that my daughter should not accident because some caller called? What? You guys have good head in Dominica? All you have good head? Matt, you think you have good head?
I'm just reading a text that comes from the legal circles. That's all I can say.
My the doctor deliberately shot my daughter in the stomach. How did an accident come in there? I don't understand. I'm there listening to you, Matt. You want to all the time. I'm left to the now, you know? Matt Peltier?
I'm here. What are you suggesting, Vaughn? What are you suggesting?
Your fucking business, my brother.
Hello? Yo. 4493095. We're having a conversation there. Hello, talk to me. That was Mr. Vaughn Dodds. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes? He's saying basically that his daughter was not shot accidentally. 44930959697. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Yeah, but not whoever the father is. I can understand why he's angry and he's making a call. When you just said something of somebody right is something was an accident. So my point, what that directly comes to my mind. So a woman or a man in whatever contact they're making, why is a gun involved? A gun between you, you're having sex, a gun between you, you're having a talk, a gun between you. How did the gun get involved between you and that woman? So how did it become an accident? So you were talking and you were pointing the gun? My brother, that doesn't say, whoever is telling that to you, to me, that is bull crap. Because no matter what relationship I have with a woman and we get into a conflict, if I bring a gun involved, I have some kind of intention, whether to intimidate or to use it or whatever the case is. So that's not going on good with me. That gun was an accident. And the father of the daughter who just called, I can understand what triggered him. And you cannot have a conversation with that man when you just said what you said there and he knows otherwise. But for me, an ordinary person, I in a relationship with a woman or with anybody, you have a fracas with somebody, it's now they're saying, see if problem near solution. The solution most of the time is to have a conversation. So I'm not coming to solve a problem if you have a weapon in my hand. That doesn't make sense. So whoever sent that to you, that is just, I would say, coming from legal circles or whatever circles. This is hogwash. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. 44930959697. Hello?
Well, Matt.
Yeah.
Good morning to you and your listeners, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been listening since yesterday, and I've been putting myself in the jury position, Matt. And I would recuse myself. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. Because based on the caller before the last, I believe he too should recuse himself from calling. I know because he can hear his anger. You know, he's not calling and with a calm mind. You know, so we should leave that thing alone and go to some other topic. Like I don't think it's a good thing for that speech for the decision.
Hello, talk to me. 449309596. Again, I'll repeat. I'm hoping that Mr. Dawes is listening. I repeat, the report said it was the victim's statement, but it was an accident. Hello, 44930959697. Okay. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Matt Milligan.
Yes, sir.
What I go into my mind, the amount of pressure people under in this place, economic pressure, financial pressure, all kind of. My brother, we have to be careful, what we're doing and what we're saying, because I'll tell you what, you just see these things happen in the states where somebody just go in a school and shoot down a hotel that people go in this defense. This thing is gonna come to meet us, because people cannot take more. And when you have a justice system that is the way it is, and what I'm hearing there is somebody trying to do some kind of mind bend, twisting the narrative. And that is from my layman's perspective and understanding. And really and truly, it's going to come a day when somebody's going to get frustrated, real frustrated, and you might just hear some mass shooting in Dominica or some mass killings in some way, shape, or form. We don't need that here. And what I'm saying is a recipe for something like that. Because people under pressure, my brother, there are a lot of shit going on. It's going on in high places, and little people, they have a thing saying, when two elephants fight, what happens? The grass they're trampling on. So we are like the little grass. But at the same time, we cannot have these people just doing all these things and we're just taking and taking. Somebody's going to lose it. And let me tell you, somebody's going to lose it mentally. And when you lose it mentally, you can do stupid things. So I want to ask us to be calm, be sober, and no matter what's going on, let's try to stay focused and control ourselves, because really and truly, somebody's going to get out of control one of those days.
I mean, it's going to happen. There's a recipe for that. There are many things going on that can lead to that, and we must not fuel this thing. We have behaviors where we're not thinking of the other person or the victims or the victim's family, and this is a kind of selfish kind of behavior because it's not us. Because it's not us, we have strange comments making, and there are people that are hurting. There are people that are hurting on the doctor's side. There are people that are hurting on the girl's family side. And we have to understand these things. These things are very sensitive things, but somebody's going to lose it one of those days and do something really silly. Not my way. Have a good day.
Let's take a phone call. It's 9:39. Yes. Hello. Talk to me. Yes.
Hey, Matt, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, is it an open line you have or you have a special discussion?
An open line.
Open line. But I am thinking and I am wondering, is it a coincidence that the government of Dominica put in a gospel concert together last weekend? Isn't that happened, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And Matt, all of a sudden, we had a major fire in our city.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that is a coincidence. The government of Dominica take the young people of Dominica and say that they want to put the young people together. They want to call the young people. All of a sudden, after 20 years, the government of Dominica have destroyed the future of our young people. They destroy the development of Dominica. They destroy everything that the young people supposed to involve in our sports, activity, everything. Dead. But all of a sudden now they have a cookout by the river. All of a sudden, no big rain falling. I haven't seen no heavy rain falling, but the Lai River flood. Almost with all the tents that they put up, even garbage that they never pick up, was all over the river going down. The river flood. I wonder if that is a coincidence. But our fireman, I listened
So you're saying the river went down when? On that day when they're having the activity next to the Lai River? That's what you say?
But it got on the following day. They had the event, I think, the Sunday. I had the Sunday, and the river go down the following day. Matter of fact, also the river flood. The river is dirty, down, flood, go down. Nobody cannot live in that river. Nobody can do nothing in that river. The river is flood, and I don't see no heavy rain falling. You understand? Now, I was telling you, the national security, Raymond Blackmore, was giving the fireman praise and the policeman praise. They do a well job. But he has to give the fireman praise, Matt. Because our fireman in Dominica is damn good. We have some good firemen in Dominica. To tell me with them kind of equipment they have been trying the best to fight fire with them kind of equipment. But we don't have proper equipment for our firemen in Dominica. Our fireman is not properly equipped. And he was there and he see it. So he has to praise them. But you cannot have a major fire like that and try to fight it on the ground. You have to fight the fire from on top. Water cannot out pitch pine. Our firemen have no kind of form, no form to spread on the pitch pine to out it. So, but yet still with the little resources they had, they try their best to out the fire. So our fireman is good. We have good firemen, my brother, but our fireman is not equipped. But it's time for the people of Dominica start to look for the benefit of Dominica. Not really to put a government that is concerned of the people to equip our fire station, to equip our police officers, to equip our doctors, to equip our nurses. We need to put proper equipment in our school so that we can give our children better education in Dominica. We had it before. Why now? Now everything that's dying. And with us there, just relax, like nothing happening, like everything go back normal. But it is time for we, the people of Dominica, to start thinking and do the right thing. It is time for us to bring back the United Workers' Party in power. So let the United Workers' Party govern Dominica because we have good people that can do it. But on the 21st of this month, we're going to have a major meeting in Layu, Matt. And that meeting is going to be held in Layu. And I am asking the people of Dominica, come and hear what the United Workers' Party have in store for them on the 21st, Matt. We have good things in store for them. We can govern Dominica. We can run Dominica in the right way because the government we have now is incompetent. They're not ready yet. They need to pack up and they need to leave and they need to go. But that is what I have to say this morning. Have a good morning.
Have a good morning too. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes. Hello, yes.
Yes. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning to you.
Again.
Yes.
So the person is trying to say that the doctor left his home with a loaded gun.
You know, as a matter of fact, I've decided not to speak to this issue because a lot of people seem emotionally attached to this one there. So let's let it go for the time. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Let's move away from the subject. A lot of people seem a little attached emotionally. Hello, talk to me, yes?
A quick question, Father.
Go ahead, yes.
Was there a church that got burnt in the fire?
Yes, that was a church there next to the market that got burnt. I think the roof
And
collapsed.
who was the pastor of that church, Matt?
I think it was Apostle Judy or something like. Yeah.
The same Judy that made the statement about the
She was one of the main pastors who got involved in this organization of the big concert on the weekend. Yes.
Is that a coincidence, Matt? Have a good day.
Have a good day. 449-3095. As a matter of fact, I spoke to Bishop Parallel. He's on island, so maybe we'll talk to him sometime about that during the next 1 or 2 days. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Okay, Matt, good morning again.
Yes,
On the camera side of things, I want to
Yes.
say thanks to all those who send condolences, coming and meet me, coming and knock my door, passing of my father. It is kind of very overwhelming, the amount of support that coming from the public. So I really want to thank everybody. I mean, I can't start calling them because there's a lot of people, to the point where more people meeting me and the amount of people are meeting me and condoning with me is more than the people that were at my father's funeral, because my father's funeral was not really announced properly, and that was by design. And it is what it is, what's under the bridge. But I want to say thanks to every single person, because it continues on a daily basis. He died not last week before last Thursday. He buried the Thursday after. And it wasn't through a church process. It was through the chapel at Lyndhurst.
Okay.
And really and truly, the amount of people that meeting me and tell me they didn't hear the death announcement, they were listening. He was a man who worked in the prison service for like 30 plus years. He worked at research, he worked at courts, he worked at different places. He knew a lot of people. And the way he was whisked away is very unfortunate. But I really want to thank all those that condoling with me and giving the support that they give in. It doesn't stop. Even this morning, just leaving my home for like less than 5 minutes. I mean, I intercepted 3 people, condolences, and the market on Saturday was overwhelming with just condolences. I mean, it's really touching to see that people can come out and give you support in time of death. And I want to thank everybody. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Stay strong. Stay strong. Matt, I listened to Pastor Parallel, and he did say there's a lot more to come. I think Apostle Judy Andrew, yeah?
It's official! With Digital Plus, you get award-winning internet speeds from streaming, gaming, and more. It was tested and proven by Ookla, the global leader in internet testing. Digital Plus is Dominica's fastest internet network. backed by our 100% fiber to the home network. We provide the fastest and more reliable internet so you and your family can do all the things you love and way more. Experience our award-winning network today with internet speeds starting at 100 megabytes per second and up. Sign up in store. Digital Plus, better together. Award based and announced by Ookla of Speedtech, 3/4/2021.
Our parents cared for us. Now it's our time to plan how we care for them and ourselves. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, through the Department of Social Services, proudly presents the Aging Preparedness and Wellness Fair happening March 6 at the Winter Park Stadium forecourt in Roseau from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Under the theme, Securing Our Future, Planning for Aging with Dignity through Financial Preparedness and Elder Care Inclusion. This fair is all about planning for aging with dignity. Learn how to grow your retirement savings at the National Cooperative Credit Union, the National Bank of Dominica, and the Republic Bank. Understand your pension with the Dominica Social Security. Protect yourself from online scams with cyber awareness experts with the Digital Transformation Unit. Access free health screenings with the primary healthcare services and explore community care programs that support our seniors like the Yes We Care programs and Girl Guides Association of Dominica. Aging is not the end of the journey, it's a new chapter. Let's prepare wisely, live confidently, and protect our golden years. Join us on March 6, 2026. Admission is free. The Aging Preparedness and Wellness Fair 2026, securing our future together.
Tune in every morning for The Hot Seat on Q95, the latest happening event, breaking stories, and behind-the-scenes in-depth investigative reports. Stay locked for more fair and balanced talk on The Hot Seat on Q95, the big station.
If your money situation changes, don't stress, don't hide. What happens, we understand, we're on your side. Oh, for the for the way to pick up the phone and call us, let's not hard to hard, don't wait the long time. Change is strong, but you don't have to play it alone.
Call 255-2144 or 255-2126. NCCU Collections, where solutions start with a conversation.
We have 9 more minutes. We have an open line, Dominica.
An easy way to pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow. It's now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you.
In Dominica's case, I actually located Tallboy as being the person who eventually introduced what we now know as a full-fledged hand with full scales into them. Because when he came back to Dominica one time in the late 50s, early 60s, he brought with him a pan made in Trinidad.
Steel pan part 2.
Dominica at one point had about 7 or 8 full-fledged steel bands, and that's why Pont Michel actually holds a place of prominence in steel pan in Dominica. There was a full-fledged steel band in Portsmouth. There was a hand group in Grand Bay. There was a steel band also in Maho. There was a steel band in Massac. In the city, we had 3 steel bands.
Steel band part 2 and Creole Hundred with Aftertime, Happy Matty and Friends. Those Friday on the big station from 10:45 a.m.
So all of these, you can see there was a really interesting support coming from the private commercial sector for the art form. And it wasn't just in mouth. It wasn't just even in finance, because these steel bands used to be used throughout the year.
Dominica, let's retune our bodies, minds, and spirits to the genius of Tallboy Chance, Stafford Joseph, Miguel W., Aaron Emmanuel, Owen Banwell, and others, and awaken the disciplined giant. Steve Band Part 2 with Afi Matty and Friends, hosted by Ambassador Bruce White. And the big station Q95 by Bruce Friday from 10:45 a.m. The time is now. There we go. The Pan Resurgence, the Pan Renaissance, the rise of our children will not forgive us.
The steel band playing the Calypso on the road was what determined what was the favorite for the year, and we now know it as the Road March.
What are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? You tell me, that's how it has sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. They say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Not too much time. Are you there, caller? Sorry.
Yes, Matt. Hello.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Matt, is me again. Matt,
Yeah.
I heard you was interviewing a pastor just before the concert that they had.
Yes.
And the pastor was saying that as long as it is the word of God, and as long as they're using the name of God, it is of God. Matt, that is not true. And our pastors know well that is not true. Because there is a lot of pastors who call themselves pastors, who call themselves Christian, and not only pastors, a lot of Christians who call themselves Christians, and there is not of God. Because even God himself, if you read the Bible, you will see where God himself said that when you will come to me and you will tell me that in my name you have cast out devils, in my name you have done many wonderful works, I will tell you, depart from me, I knew you not. So a lot of them who calling on the name of God is not of God. Because you cannot tell me you of God and you accepting evil when you refuse to call evil by its name. You refuse to call wrong by its name. You refuse to tell a government that there is not doing right. When in the days of the Bible, the prophet was telling the king that they was wrong. The prophet was telling the kings that God is displeased with them. But 400 prophets go to prophesy for Jehoshaphat. And one prophet tell him, my brother, you're going to die because God is displeased with you. Because what you are doing is wrong. You are not ruling the children of God correctly. So when you hear them pastors coming and radio and talking about every time anything is about God, that is not true. It's not every word that comes in your mouth is of God. Because you will be calling on God's name. You will be calling on his name, but you will be eating your own bread, my brother. It is not of God. It's wicked on the wicked in Dominica. That is why you see so many things happening to us. Man, have a good morning.
Have a good morning. So on the telephone, hello, it's 9:57. Hello, yes?
Good morning. I know you don't have much time, Mark. This is the brain.
Hey, the brain, how you doing?
Good, my brother. I just heard your caller making a point. Is his premise some pastors are pastors and others are not? That's what he's telling us. Hello, man.
You asked me to what he's telling you. He said, I had to
No,
say.
I'm just letting you grow.
You asked me to ask you what he means,
So,
what he means, or what I interpret what he means.
so what is he saying? Well, he's telling us that some pastors are pastors with a capital P, and some are not with a small p. Let him be more clear to us. I need more clarity.
All right, so he'll call back and clarify, okay? Hello, talk to me. Yes, 4493095, 4493096, 4493097. It's a 1 minute before the hour of 10 o'clock. 1 minute.
Thomas.
449309596 and 97. Dominica, we're going to be wrapping it up in a minute. Let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes.
But it seems that the brain is under his bottom because he does seem that.
Not get personally broke the brain. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, because Matt, I said, it's not everyone who call themselves pastors is pastors because you could be calling yourself pastor and you're not of God. You're only using the name pastor. Because you have to be a righteous person. You have to be following the word of God. You have to be standing up for God. And then when you can do that, then you can call yourself a pastor of God, a prophet of God, a man of God. But not because you go in church, you're a Christian. It's not because you dress nice in jacket and tie make you a Christian. No. For you to be a Christian, you have to live a Christian life. And to live a Christian life is not an easy life to live. I'm not telling you that you have to try to live a Christian life. No, you have to live a Christian life. And for you to live a Christian life, you have to accept Jesus Christ to live in you in order for you to live a Christian life. So going to church don't make you a Christian. And not going to church still don't make you not a Christian. Because you don't have to go to church to be a Christian, which it is good to gather together because the Bible says when a few gather, there's a lot of power. So it's always good to gather together. It's always good to go to church. But I'm telling you, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. You don't have to go to church to be a righteous person. But you that going to church, you can go to church from January, December, and you are evil in your heart. You are not a Christian. So those that call themselves pastors and going to preach and saying that thus said the Lord, when they know well that the Lord didn't say nothing to them, they are not pastors. They are a bunch of hypocrites, and that's what we have in Dominica.
All right, caller, thank you very much on the telephone. Yes, are you there, caller? Yes.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Good morning.
Morning to you, morning.
Matt, I want to give something of a difference this morning. I want to call in to thank the police officers, the fire brigade officers, a well done job that night. I'm not going to bring in our, but I was there with the police officers, the fire brigade, and in particular, some female police officers, fire brigade officers, I want to work today. I want to also commend the deputy commissioner. I don't know if he's still the deputy commissioner, Mr. Corbett.
He's not the deputy, he's the commissioner right now.
Matt, I didn't hear you.
I said he's not the deputy, he's the commissioner. Are you there?
Yes, we are there, Matt. Hold on, speaker.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going because you're not hearing what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I'll call back.
All right, 44930. I'm just basically telling you he's not the deputy. He's the commissioner. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Well, yes, man, I just remember what I'm right? Just remember that.
All right, hello, talk to me on the telephone. I heard that, not trying to show you. All right, 44930959697. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. We're going to take two more calls and we'll wrap it up here this morning. Thank you. Yes? And Dr. Bishop Parado is on the island, and we'll try to engage him sometime this week before he leaves the island. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Good day, sir.
Yes,
I have
sir.
3 points to make.
3 points. Go ahead, sir.
The one for the cannibal was the time of Moses, when they had to free the Israel from the Egyptians, from Pharaoh. Then when he went to the mountain and received the 10 commandments, he came back down and see everybody trying to worship cattle, gold, silver, and diamond. Now the other point I have to make too. There is a geothermal that has pierced in the foundation of the holy mountain in Dominica. I would like to tell you that when you release heat pressure from underneath the ground, you're allowing the earth to cool it, meaning the soil underneath is going to get very soft. When little rain falls, you're going to have a lot of landslides all over the place. There is a fire in the ground that keeps the bosom of the earth warm, and that is where the soil is bind. If the land is cooling, then the soil will wither, so there is no heat to bind the soil. So I am asking the government, do not infiltrate the holiness of Holy Mount Zion. This is our dwelling place, and this is where the Father dwells. When you allow him to provoke the land will disintegrate. There are whole pots of lava, fire all over Sufria. The mountains are tearing apart because of too much inflation, too much heat on the top surface, much less for the bottom. If we don't regulate our temperature properly, the land will get dehydrated. I'm asking the government to seal that hole, because if that hole is still leaking air, this island is going to shrink, and it is going to shrink. And when rain falls, all mountains are going to become sea level. This earth is not to be provoked by man, but to be a shepherd to flock his sheep. Let us not invoke the spiritual part of Mother Nature and humble ourselves like children. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. More telephone calls, 10:06. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, good morning, man.
Morning to you.
It seems that the people who go to church, they think from the time somebody says Jesus is about the person with God. And the Bible have full explanation, full teachings that not all that say Lord, Lord will enter into the kingdom, but those who do his commandments. You understand? And we can see through the works of those people are just having a good time party. None of them came out with a sense of conviction of sin, of wanting to repent of their sins and to live a better life. They come out there and they, well, I well see, I well dance, I like the gospel, I like the music, not the teachings of God. We live by the word of God, not by. If you have to watch Cain kill Abel, but Cain build an altar to worship God, thinking they're worshiping the true God. The people who killed Jesus, for their worshiping the true God. When Moses came down from the mountain, the people were worshiping And Moses says like he heard like the sound of war because they were dancing and shouting and things. When Elijah went on the mountain with the 400 prophets, the prophets was dancing and shouting and all kind of thing. And Elijah just say, "Oh Lord, let them know, let them know that I'm your servant." And fire came down. You know, he's not shouting and jumping and praying that he's of God. His humbleness, his praying with a sincere heart, his understanding, his love, his do unto others like others do unto you, not having grudges. Simple. But they like party, they like good time. It's about show, it's about who looking better, who dancing more, who's jumping up more, who's shouting more, you know, and that's not good.
Caller, that's how we wrap it up for the morning. Our next stop here is with Jolly's Pharmacy. Stick around, Dominica. This is Q95. Jolly's is next, right here on Q.
Just me, I want you to know you should be. That is JP, mega. Come on, stop shopping for me, nigga. You could be shopping and I've been for sure. If you're not a happy place, so sure. It's a to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP, mega. Come on, stop shopping for me, nigga. You could be shopping and I've been for sure. It's a to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just click some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the Mega Store in Concord where there's lots of parking on Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
We got this started feeling mystic. I had the precious and college. My thing up with Jolly's Pharmacy. And don't you got street and it's some my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong now. I'm ready to work like it's on any mission. If you see me forget, Jolly's Pharmacy is number one. Jolly's forget. We cater for everyone. Jolly's forget. It's the immune system. Jolly's forget. Yo, Dominic, it's about part of us. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy, then boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Cough, cold, sore throat, getting you down? Get Fitzroy mentholated cough and cold syrup for the symptomatic relief of cough, colds, catarrh, and sore throats. Fitzroy cough and cold instantly release and can be taken every 2 hours. It is pleasant tasting and competitively priced. Fitzroy cough and cold is manufactured in England. Fitzroy cough and cold, the relief you're looking for.
Distributed by Jolly's Pharmacy Limited.
Cough, cold, sore throat, getting you down? Get Fitzroy mentholated cough and cold syrup for the symptomatic relief of cough, colds, catarrh, and sore throats. Fitzroy cough and cold instantly release and can be taken every 2 hours. It is pleasant tasting and competitively priced. Fitzroy cough